It's me, Kae Pea. I'm here in my studio, the Moon and the Maker, and I'm here for day number 12 of World Watercolor Month. Yay! So I'm sorry I got started just a few minutes late this morning. I was actually over here doing my video, talking away, already getting ready to stamp and start to watercolor. And then Mr. Moon came in and said, "Oh, you're doing this unlisted." I didn't even know there was such a thing. So that's why nobody could find me. So hopefully I'll give you a couple minutes here to join me and then we will get started. I'm going to say hello here. Yay. No, I'm not unlisted. I'm listed now. I'm sorry about that. So hopefully everyone can find me here. We're getting started with day number 12. I can't believe it, but I am chugging along. I hope you are too. It's been super fun. I don't know if anybody got to see the post yesterday. I just made it on my personal timeline of sharing all the days so far together. And that was really fun to lay them out and see them all together. So I hope that you're doing that with your work as well. I don't know how many of you heard me talking. I was already over here talking and sharing and already into it. I was just about to stamp. And then Mr. Moon came in and said, "You're unlisted. You're not talking to anybody." So we had to start over. But that's okay. It gave me a chance to pull this thing down off the wall. I wanted to talk about what we're using, and then we'll jump right in. First of all, for those of you maybe joining me for the first time, I thank you so much for being here. And I want to just tell you what we're using. We are using 300 pounds, so very heavy watercolor paper. This is cold pressed, so it does have a little bit of a tooth. We're going to use a couple RubberMoon stamps, and these today are specifically from Kim Geyser. I have my core watercolors. Well, they're not all core. These are all core. This is their little pan set. These are mostly all core, but I do have one of my favorite colors is Opera Pink. And core does not carry an opera pink, so that's what that is right there, and that's a Winsor Newton color. Everything else in this palette is a core color. And out of the tubes, these are tube colors in here, and then of course this is their little mini half pan set, which I love. And if you get one of these, you will love it too, I promise. Let's see. I do want to tell you, a couple people have messaged us. We are still working on our favorites list, on the KP favorites list. That is links to some of my favorite products through Amazon, things that we either don't carry or used to carry but are no longer carrying. I just want to at least have those links for you to be able to see some of the things that I use and talk about and share a lot. So I know that there's not very much up there right now, but we're working really diligently to try to get it more updated. So please hang in there with us. And yeah, that's it. So we're going to get started. I love this stamp by Kim Geyser. This is her. I don't really know what we called it, to be honest. I can never remember, but I'm sure Maxie or Mr. Moon will put a link to this hand up there. We also have it in a set that comes with the little sacred heart, or the little flaming heart, and it also has a little evil eye, and then it also has a word that just says hi. So super cute set, and I love the stamp. One of the reasons I love the stamps love hands. Getting ahead of myself. I actually, little trivia about me is I have had my manicuring license since I was 17. I actually did nails for many, many years, and so I sort of have this like hand collection, not of real hands, but like ceramic hands or art of hands, jewelry hands. So I've always enjoyed drawing them and painting them. And so this was hanging. I want to show you this. It's not like a masterpiece or anything, but it's kind of fun. I actually did it just while experimenting while I was in art school. And it's big, as you can see, and it's a big giant piece of watercolor paper. It has some texture on it, and it's a hand. It hangs on my wall here in my studio, and this is what I was inspired by when I painted this piece using Kim Geyser's hand. So we're going to do that. Okay, a little bit different today because we are going to stamp and paint in, sort of how we did the last couple days. But we use just a black ink pad to stamp and paint in. Today we're going to do watercolor the way we've been doing it. So I'm going to have a moist flat brush, and I'm going to just have to pull this down a little bit. Again, I'm not working real dry, but I don't want my brush to be very wet, because if I am painting in my stamp and it's really wet, then it has a tendency to really smush when you go to stamp it. But I'm doing it a little bit different because I'm actually blending colors right on, kind of go. Again, not a very wet brush. I want my paints to be moist but not wet. But I also want to work quickly, because if I am too slow, then they have a tendency to dry on there, and then it doesn't stamp very well. So you gotta sort of move around. And you can see that it starts to, what's the word when the water starts to dry up? Of course, my brain, I just keep having these struggles with remembering my words when I'm live. I promise I'm not really that dense, but Jan, come on, what's the word? What am I thinking of when the water starts to dry up? Help me out. Evaporates. That's it. I love you, Jan. Thanks so much. You're my rock. Oh, did a little bit, but it's okay, because we are going to do a lot of painting. So I must have been just talking too much. And yeah, but it's okay, because as you can see, there's a lot of painting in going on here. So what I'm going to do, since like these areas are sort of these purples and magentas, and then I got blues and greens, I'm going to use the colors that are either the same or similar to what I used for the stamped outline. And then I'm just going to go in and paint right over. Remember, again, I know I repeat myself probably almost every day, but those outlines can still be manipulated a little bit, because the water will sort of pick up that pigment and still move it. And then when I get to the center, like of the palm, I do want to either paint it like a light color, or even I could even leave it sort of white. And that's because, remember, I'm going to go in and stamp in the center. So this is where it's sort of fun to do the wet on wet techniques. Okay, so you know, in here where I just laid down that little bit of blue is really wet. So I could even go in maybe with a little bit of a different color and drop in. And that'll give me some really, not only really fun, and I know it's kind of wet so you can't see, not only some fun gradients and some really nice sort of color manipulations, but it'll just give you some really neat markings, because this whole thing, you know, we want it to look really sort of tie-dye. It's my hippy dippy hand. What can I say? I grew up in the 70s and 80s, and I still love tie-dye. Remember again, wherever those lines just looked choppy or unfinished, that really isn't a problem, because even with a little bit of water and your pointy brush, you can easily begin to fill those in. And if you want it even darker, then you could go into the actual color and fill that in as well. So again, just reiterating that all this stuff is your base layer. That got a little dark for me. I don't really want it that dark, so I'm going to blot that right out. And I'm probably not really following along the same colors I had over here, but that's okay. And remember, whatever colors that I've already laid down, when I go to do another layer, I just want to make sure, will that color make another beautiful color if I go over the top, or will it muddy? So I knew that if I took yellow and I ran over that pink, it was going to make a nice orange. If it had been purple right there, I would not have gone over it the same way, because then it would have made brown. So I want to just stop for 1 second and say hi to everyone. I want to especially say hi to Tracy, because I keep missing her every day. It's good to see you and have you here. And Dana, I'm glad to see you again this morning. And Lisa, I'm super happy you got to make it for a live. Thanks for being here. And if I'm missing anyone, I apologize. I'll look back up in a minute. And then, of course, at the end, I'll try to say hello and see if anyone has any questions. I want to remind you all that today at 12:30 Central Time, so well, right now it's 11:20. At 12:30, we are going to do a launch of some new stamps from an artist from across the pond. We're pretty excited to be having Donna Gray join the RubberMoon family. And so we hope that you'll get to pop over and see some of her fun carved designs. And so Maxie's going to be live on here with me for that. And so I'm really excited, and I hope that you'll be able to join us for that also. So right now I'm just now choosing different colors and doing a little mark making in here. I want to, as you can see, some of these transitions are super little darker and a little bit more fun. So I'm going to just keep building my color as I move throughout the piece. Remember, don't be afraid to put extra little marks on there. Deepen some things up if you want. And then I'm even gonna extend this down just a little bit and give a little scallop here. And of course, you could always use a stamp to do that too. We have lots of cute little scallop stamps if you wanted to stamp it instead of try to draw it in. But again, just all about sort of making the stamp image sort of your own and changing it up just a bit. And then when you do go to stamp in here, you do want to make sure it's good and dry. I don't know if mine's quite dry enough. I'm going to hit it with the blow dryer just for a second. I'm sorry to do this to you, but I got to. So for the heart, I'm just going to use a darker red color. I wanted to show you something kind of fun while I'm talking about red. I did this. So Core has 3 shades of Pyrrole Red Deep, a medium, and a light. And so I made this little color chart. And also, well, this gradient's not that good. It's sort of mid-tones, but it is all 3 of them blended together. So sort of a fun little exercise, I guess, I did yesterday, testing all the Pyrrole Reds from Core. That was just a little aside while I had it on my table and I was thinking about it. And I'm using the Pyrrole Red Medium right now, which I really love. It's a really bright, like fire engine red, and I love it. Ta-da! And then, of course, this one I'm going to let it dry a little bit up here because I do want to go in maybe with some oranges and yellows. But here I'm going to mix in a little bit of that opera pink. And I'll let that dry again before I sort of manipulate everything around. But you can see like how I treated that. I gave extra little marks using my cobalt blue and sort of blended that out. If you didn't want those little dots in there at all, of course, you can completely obliterate that. You can also make like highlight areas. If you see how I had all that filled in, and then I just clean out my brush. I make it so it's completely dry. I'm going to pull this over so you can see it a little bit better. So I'm cleaning my brush in the water. I'm blotting it out and making it really clean and dry, and that's what it's called, a thirsty brush. So your brush will actually pull back up the pigment and water if you drag through it, and that can give you some really nice little highlight areas. And voila, you have a wonderful, radiant hand. Handmade. Ha ha ha. Pun intended. Anyway, so that, my friends, is day number 12 of World Watercolor Month. I really have been enjoying this so much. I hope you have too. I hope you get to go get makey, and I hope that you'll come back here at 12:30, not here to YouTube, but on our RubberMoon Facebook page. We are going to do a live sharing Donna Gray's new stamps. And so I have watercolored some of those too. I'm not going to lie. Anyway, have fun. Come back at 12:30 Central Time over to the RubberMoon page and check out the new stamps. I hope I'll see you tomorrow for day number 13. Please make sure to subscribe to this channel and follow me on all my social media so we can get makey together lots more. I hope you have a great, great day, and I'll see you hopefully soon. Bye.